Hey Sarah. Some of the things that have been helping me the most lately are watching videos of other people and their life experiences, things that they're doing to help themselves. I mentioned in a previous video, one in particular that helped me a lot. Some of the ideas that came from it that kind of really helped me to turn my life, starting to turn my life around because I'm clearly not there yet, is this idea of writing down what it is that you want from your life and what things you have to do to get there and what sort of things... What? Come here! And what sort of obstacles are in your way. Right now that would be bear. Yeah. What obstacles are in your way. And so what I was doing with that is I sat down with myself and I took it took a couple of tries before I actually did anything about it, and I would kind of just sit there. Oh, it's not even really picking them up that much. And I would just kind of sit there and not do anything. And then one day I it's a microphone. Not really doing anything. I just sit there not really doing anything. And then one day I ended up deciding ultimately that it was time. And so I sat with myself, and for about half an hour, I wrote down all the things that I wanted from life and what sort of things I felt were in the way, whether it was something about me, something externally, something internally, something about the world, other people, and what sort of things that I could do to fix that, what sort of things I could do to kind of change those obstacles in my way, or how to work around them. And doing that kind of opened up my eyes to be like, oh wow, a lot of the obstacles in my way are just time. So if it's just time, I can't really change time, and all I can really do with that is just have fun with the space between then and now, with where I am, the present, not focusing so much on the future, but just knowing that it'll come eventually. And then obviously with the things that I could change, working slowly, little by little, changing those things, and making it a little easier, or accepting things that I can't change. Something else in that video that it talked about was writing down a thought that you have and writing down alternatives to that thought, which are kind of like challenging your thoughts. But for whatever reason, alternatives stuck better in my brain than challenging. So that was interesting. And I spent, on a different day, another hour writing down all these worries that I have and all these things of maybe, it'll be like, oh, I'm worried that my sisters don't like me, and then it's they're your sisters, of course they care about you. Of course they want to support you and know about your life, and maybe part of the reason they can be judgmental is because you don't tell them anything, so maybe if you talk more, it'll be better, or things oh, I don't think Bear knows that I love him, and then it's for the challenging it, for the alternative thoughts, it's he sleeps with me every night, he leaves with me all the time, he comes into my space constantly. But the number one takeaway from that video that has been helping me the absolute most was this idea that you have to talk to people. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be small. It just has to happen. That we feel isolated because we don't talk. and we get depressed and we feel lost because we don't talk. And even if we talk to someone about something mundane, that it's better than sitting alone in silence, and having nobody to understand you or nobody knowing what's going on with your life. So obviously the work up is to eventually talk about the struggles that you're having and the inner workings of whatever it is that's bothering you, being more open and honest about those sorts of things. But for right now, it's just reaching out to friends and family, asking them about things going on in their lives, telling them things that are going on in mine, like getting the job, like my car breaking down, things that feel important to me that I want to share with somebody. It's this idea that maybe they want to hear it too. And maybe they do care about you, and maybe they've been wanting to hear from you, but you've just been holding back. And that's not fair to anybody. So, reaching out, things like that, and then slowly trying to transition that into more heavy topics or more elaborate topics. When it comes to my friends, it's been a lot easier to talk about those sorts of things with, but when it comes to family, I'm still struggling to ask them for advice or to ask them for help with things. But I will say, having that human connection again, which has not been easy, surprisingly enough. You would think that for somebody who feels lonely all the time and who wants to talk to people all the time would just go out and talk to people, but no. I convince myself constantly that people don't want to hear from me, or that they're going to be bothered from hearing from me, or that they're just going to, turn their nose up and walk away or not really care. So I've been trying to challenge that and reaching out when I want to share something with people, even if it's sometimes small, but especially when it's the bigger things, asking them also about their lives, because I'm always curious about other people. I just never ask, because I worry that I'm going to invade their privacy, or that they're not going to want to talk about it. But it's been really hard, and it started really slow, but I'm making a little bit of progress. When it comes to family, it's just checking in with them, a little bit here and there, asking them about things that we talked about before, things about work that I know about them. Like my one sister, Olivia, she's a nurse, and my other sister's a vet, so it's really easy to ask them, like, what happened at work today, or like, this dog that you mentioned last time, like, how's he doing, or how's this patient doing, so things like that, and then kind of learning the smaller parts of it, like, things that they do or don't like about work, and asking, like, oh, did this happen today, did that happen today, My third sister, Sabrina, she lives with me, so we end up just talking all the time. She shares about her life whether I want her to or not. I still hold back a lot from her sometimes, but I don't know. When I'm home, I just want to be alone. I just don't want to talk to anybody, especially if I've been out and I've been interacting with other people. But finding that balance between, like, giving myself, like, defined space, like, during these hours you're alone, during these hours you talk to people, reaching out to old friends, old teachers, that I haven't talked to in a while, giving myself grace when I don't kind of, like, reach out as much as I should, or answer as much as I should. At least I'm doing it. But starting to talk to people again has been the number one thing that has helped me with regaining my sense of self and learning how to feel, how to have emotions, how to connect with people, how to care about things, about myself, not necessarily, like the nitty-gritty, but things like, did I eat today, because apparently a lot of people care about that. Things like, am I showering regularly? Am I getting changed regularly? Am I taking care of myself? Things like, am I doing the things that I want to do because people are interested in them? And stuff like that. You know, obviously the bigger goals are a little harder, or caring about how other people feel or thinking about how they may feel or the things that they're going through. But talking with people has definitely helped me regain my sense of life, regain my sense of being human. It's been hard starting to feel like emotions again, because for the last like 2-3 years, there's a really big life event that I don't know if I'm ever gonna actually talk about on this channel. I guess I'm gonna probably end up having to one day, but I had a really big life event and it lasted about 2 years, and the year following April will be a whole year of me just trying to get back into life after everything that had gone on. But for those 2 years, I had more or less just shut off all my sense of who I am, my sense of feelings, my sense of emotions, my sense of caring about anything, whether it was about me or other people. And so getting back into that has been difficult, but talking to other people has been helping a lot, because it's like, oh, you know, I feel these ways when I talk to these people, or I feel those ways when I talk to these people. Or especially when it comes to friends, especially my friend Danny, when we go out, you know, we went to a coffee shop and we were there for hours, and we both ended up crying, and we both ended up sharing things about ourselves that, you know, we had been too scared to admit to ourselves, and we had been too scared to talk about with other people. And so I'm learning to talk to her about things like that again, which has been nice. But feeling, after being numb for so long, after having no emotions, after not caring about anything, after nothing mattering for so long, has been really overwhelming, because there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of guilt, there's a lot of fear, and a lot of grief, and a lot of longing, that I hadn't been addressing and I hadn't been paying attention to, which is where things like reading books helps a lot, and writing helps a lot, because with reading books, especially because most of the books I read are poetry books, there's a lot of emotion in that. And so I'll read and I'll sit with myself and I'll think about it, and I'll try to let myself ruminate with those thoughts and feelings. And sometimes after that I'll be able to write about it, or I'll make a video about it. But it's a lot to unpack, and there's so much of it, because I was shut off from the world, from myself, shut myself off from the world, shut the world off from myself, shut myself off from myself for so long, that anytime I feel anything, it's so intense and it's so abundant, and I try so hard not to cry, which is something that I'm trying to work on, is letting myself do that. I'm not there yet, but every now and then I am, when I'm with friends or when I'm with my boyfriend. I can't really do it alone yet, but that's okay. But it's just that overwhelming sense of feeling, that overwhelming sense of just hurting, of all of the memories, all of the guilt that I have for having pushed everyone away, for having just put my life on hold, for having said no to people when I wanted to say yes, for having to not put anything first, for hurting a lot of people with the way that I treated them and with the person that I had become. Especially I abandoned a lot of people, I neglected a lot of people, I straight up stopped talking to every single member of my family, including my dad at one point. And it's not something that I talk about with them, and I probably should, because it would make a lot more sense if I explained that to them, but I'm not quite there yet. Hi guys, if you're watching. But I have immense guilt for having hurt everyone. I feel so terrible that I was so mean to everyone, and I feel so terrible that I treated everyone so poorly and that I acted like nobody cared, or that I didn't care about anyone or my relationships with anyone. And the guilt that I have for that, the guilt for the years and the memories that were lost, is so much more abundant than I think I could possibly ever explain with words or with actions. And it's just kind of something that sits with me and that eats at me constantly. I get that way with friends too, but they understand, because when I was going through everything, they were constantly around me, because I still seeing them sometimes, and when I wasn't, I had explained to them, like, I tend to disappear when I'm not feeling good, so when I wasn't feeling good, they'd be like, oh, I guess she's just disappeared because she's not feeling good, and there were no hard feelings, but I never explained that to my family. I just kind of assumed that they knew, or I guess I also didn't really care sometimes, and working on talking to people, working on building community again, working on trying not necessarily to get back the memories, but to get back the relationships, to start to form new memories, to start to form new bonds with everyone, that I can actually talk with them, I can hang out with them, I can see them, I can care about them the way that I need to, and I can let them care about me the way that they need to, or the way that I need them to. Talking with people has changed so much for me. It has opened up so much in life. It has helped me understand where I went wrong, why I went wrong, why I've been struggling so much to get back on my feet, why I can't care about myself, why I can't care about others, why I just stopped caring about everything, why even after that big life event ended, that I was still struggling to be a person again. And in talking with other people, it's not necessarily the things I say to them or the things that they say to me. A lot of the times it's the things that I'm afraid to tell them, that I'm like, oh wow, that's a big piece of information that I should probably have known about myself. Or trying to think about like why I'm worried to tell them certain things or talk to them about certain things. So challenging how I feel, challenging how I think about things, challenging my thoughts, challenging myself to reach out to people, challenging myself to see a better perspective of what my life could be and where it's going and why I can't get there, instead of just going, well, I can't do anything. I have a job because I talked to my sister, because she helped me with resumes, and she helped me with applying, she helped me with understanding what it was I was supposed to do, just a lot of things like that. Or I'll talk with my friends about being afraid of talking to my family or talking to them, and they'll talk about their own struggles, or I'll talk about struggling with like getting out, with going out again, with walking, with going to places like thrift stores, and they'll give me some good advice, or they'll at least say that like I'm not alone, and we'll make plans to do things. And although sometimes they fall through, it's nice to know that somebody cares and that somebody wants it, even if both of you are struggling a little bit to actually get that done. Talking to people it's really helped me. It's helped me to stop thinking so catastrophically. It's helped me to compartmentalize things. It has helped me to have that sense of community, to have that sense of people care about you, that you care about people, that things do matter, that things that they do or that they're heard about or that you do or that you're heard about matter. Understanding all of that and understanding myself more, but mostly having community and having people to care. If I can't do it for myself, maybe I can do it for them. and that's just been really helpful in getting to do that again. And it's taken a lot of time, but I'm getting there, and I can get there, and I'm not really at the point where I want everything to just stop anymore. I still have days where I think that way, but I'm not like actively planning on having everything end. I'm planning on trying to make it to the future, on trying to set up a good future, not just waiting for it to happen, but actively participating in my life, participating in my days, participating in my weeks, participating in putting my life forward. And it's been hard to accept that, but that's okay, because I will one day. I'd rather have a couple of days here and there where I don't want things to go forward and I don't want to continue this than spend every day just waiting for everything to stop. Yeah, so even if you're worried that people might not want to talk to you, even if you're worried that they don't like you or that they're going to take it wrong, start with something simple at the very least. Start with somebody easy to talk to, whether it be a sibling, whether it be a friend or a teacher or a coworker, or a journal, a parent, whoever it is that will answer, even if it's something small. Just reach out to someone. Just talk. Just start building those habits, those communities, those spaces to love yourself, those spaces to be loved, and those spaces to love other people. Just, if nothing else, talk to someone, talk to people, give yourself that. This is a long video, I apologize for that. I love you all very much, and I hope this one didn't seem too down, and I appreciate all of your support, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, Sarah.